Hey guys, my name is Jesse Berger. I'm with ValidifI. ValidifI provides payment and data solutions to the fintech world. Today I'm here to talk to you about our latest innovation, the Pro. But before I demo the Pro, let me set the stage by taking a jog down memory lane. Anybody remember a company by the name of Blockbuster? All right, so I'm aging myself here a little bit. 22 years ago, it's 1997. Blockbuster was all the rage, but not everyone was so happy, right? Why? Blockbuster was charging late fees. Outraged with late fees, a little-known company by the name of Netflix came along to go ahead and combat that issue. All right, so let's take a step back into the modern-day world. Today, there are $22 billion of bank overdraft and NSF fees that are charged to merchants and to consumers each and every year, $22 billion. So we need a new Netflix, right? So let me introduce the Pro. So the Pro all but eliminates NSF, overdraft fees to consumers, and return fees to the merchants. How? It's pretty simple. It uses automated workflows and real-time AI-sourced data from the banks directly to verify and validate how much funds are available in the bank account. Pro stands for the Payment Risk Optimizer. The Pro solves that age-old question of whether or not a payment transaction will go through successfully or not. So many fintechs, as many of you probably know, are riddled with declined credit card processing transactions or returned ACH-type transactions. And the reasons vary, obviously. Maybe the credit card number has changed. Maybe the account has been closed. Maybe there's just some fraud, or the customers just don't have enough money in their bank account. So how does it work? It's fairly simple. You log into the system, and you have APIs too if you want to just connect directly. Go ahead and do a batch transaction. Take an ACH file, upload it. I'll save you the headache of the upload process. Once the batch is uploaded, you go ahead and you can press results. So let's go find some results here from before, and it quickly tells you, hey, the amount of money in the bank account is not enough in order to process that payment. Instead of blindly sending your transactions and waiting for the outcome, you can stop the bad payments ahead of time and avoid the extraneous fees and angry customer calls from overdraft. So a little bit more about the system. If you want to see exactly how that transaction went through, you can press details. You can see the exact rules and workflows that were associated with this transaction within the Pro. So let's look at a couple other areas in the system as well. There are basically three areas. If you go to the dashboard, you have screening, processing, and compliance. So screening is just what it says. It tells you exactly how many ACH transactions you've submitted, how many passed as having enough funds, how many failed not having enough funds, or if you had card transactions, you can see how many actually would go through and how many had failed. So you're blocking the bad transactions before they actually get to the payment processor or the bank. You can also take a look at exactly what was processed. So processing is the actual payments that were presented to the payment processor or the bank. So out of the good transactions that we had processed, let's say 1,200 that we had verified, 1,164 cleared. And similarly, we can see how many converted and how many settled and how many were actually returned. Other things that the system can do is tell you exactly which banks are working the best for you, which ones are having the top return rates. So it can manage a whole bunch of other things besides just looking to see whether or not there are enough funds. So the other thing that the system can do is actually keep track of your customer profiles. So some of the AI-type technology that's associated with the system actually grabs the data that's from the ACH files that you're uploading into the system. It takes a look at the name, the address. You can even add phone numbers. You can add all kinds of different pieces of information and see all types of information that's associated with that particular individual. I can see all the addresses that have ever been associated with that individual. I can look at all the accounts, bank accounts that were associated with that individual. I can look at all the cards that were associated with that individual. And what that enables us to do is take a look at things like whether or not that person has moved a lot, whether or not the phone numbers are still active, whether or not that person switches from bank account to bank account over a short or a long period of time. So there's a lot of data that's happening behind the scenes here. Some other areas that you can see is the actual routes. So this is specifically the rules that you set up. So you don't have to have just one rule in the system. If you've got new customers and you want to associate a rule that's just with those new customers, you can go ahead and create that route. And a route essentially allows you to create an execution workflow. So an execution workflow is basically a list of different rules and steps and verifications. So you can set up an unlimited number of rules in the system to configure any particular situation that your business may have to encounter. So this is a little bit about the system. You can see it's pretty smart, it's quick, and it's easy. It has a lot of flexibility to handle, obviously, an unlimited number of situations. So whether you need to reduce your return rates with your ACH, whether you need to maintain compliance with NACHA guidelines, or whether you need to maintain compliance with different card brand rules, or you simply don't want to outsource your collections and try to find out whether or not some of your accounts have money in there, the Pro can help you change the game. So I appreciate your time, and if you'd like to learn more about the Pro, please check us out at ValidifI.com. Thank you.